North Korea is one of the most powerful nations in the world. When the US isn't worrying about China or Russia, North Korea is arguably the biggest headache to solve. It's no doubt that North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, is an unpopular leader in the West, but his nuclear weapons are 12 times more explosive than the one that destroyed Hiroshima. His military is the fourth largest in the world, and now his Navy has just developed a groundbreaking nuclear-capable unmanned underwater vehicle, or UUV for short, that can heavily destroy the inland United States in one hit. And although the US responds with a similar weapon, the details in the news about North Korea are quite scary. Kim Jong-un has made it clear North Korea would never abandon its nuclear power goals. In fact, the country is constantly doing the complete opposite, heavily improving its nuclear capabilities. The latest of these improvements is a new underwater drone known as Haeil that was revealed some weeks ago at North Korea's latest military parade in central Pyongyang that marked the 70th year anniversary of the end of the Korean War. The underwater drones, which were transported on flatbed trucks through Pyongyang's Kim Il-sung Square, are widely presumed to function much like nuclear-armed torpedoes, similar to Russia's Poseidon ultra-long-endurance torpedo. Concentrating hefty resources on novel ways to deliver its nuclear warheads has been the pattern of North Korea's military spending over the last few years with their current leader. Under Kim Jong-un, North Korea has carried out at least 160 missile tests, each one more advanced than the last. That's over 5 times more tests than under the previous 2 leaders combined, which were his father and his grandfather, by the way. To achieve this, Kim Jong III has spent a huge portion of the nation's GDP on military expenditure, with the portion going as high as 26% in 2019, over a quarter of the nation's GDP. It was the highest GDP to military expenditure proportion of any nation that year. With aerial and underwater drones being the order of the day today, thanks to their minimal personnel risk and precise strikes, North Korea, like virtually every world power today, has set its eyes and budget in that direction. The result is an entire fleet of North Korean underwater drones for the US to worry about. North Korea has shown all signs of an active effort to build one of the most sophisticated nuclear-capable drone fleets in the world. And the new Haeil is all the proof we need. Haeil. Haeil is an underwater drone that, being a new weapon, is still yet to be fully understood by anyone outside North Korean borders. Its best descriptions can only come from expert observations and comparisons with a weapon it shares close similarities with, the Russian Poseidon. In common with the Poseidon, the new North Korean drone will execute its strategic missions with an apparent pump jet propulsor at the rear and a similar arrangement of cruciform control surfaces, each of which incorporates a folding mechanism. However, while the Poseidon features nuclear propulsion as well as a nuclear warhead, the North Korean UUV almost certainly relies on battery propulsion. There is no evidence at this point that North Korea is working on the kinds of nuclear technologies that would provide a small enough nuclear reactor to power such a vehicle. This is understandable, as nuclear propulsion is likely not a priority for North Korea as it stands. The nation's closest rivals, South Korea and Japan, are only a stone's throw away, sharing borders. This cancels the need for the infinite range that comes with nuclear propulsion. And although nuclear propulsion could come in handy in a bout with the US, that bout still seems at least a few years away. Another major point of difference with the Poseidon is that the Russian weapon is designed to be launched by the shadowy Project 09852 Belgorod submarine, the world's longest submarine, while North Korea doesn't operate any submarine large enough to serve as a mothership. Although the North Korean drone is smaller than the 65-foot long and 6.5-foot wide Poseidon. This suggests that Haeil would have to be launched from a dockside pier or jetty, some kind of floating platform, or perhaps a suitably modified surface vessel. Haeil isn't the only known underwater drone from North Korea, though. Haeil 2. Another North Korean underwater drone known as Haeil 2 was revealed a few months ago in April. Both Haeil and Haeil 2 share some attributes, like their names might already suggest. The older, non-nuclear-powered Haeil 2 is apparently smaller than the just-revealed Haeil, though. For some reason, North Korea seems to be counting backwards. Estimated data attributed the Haeil 2 with a range of up to 540 nautical miles and an average speed of 4.6 knots, is notably slower than a torpedo. An operating depth of 260 to 300 feet was reported too, although imagery has shown it is capable of operating on the surface. Besides their nuclear role, both the Haeil 2 and Haeil could be crucial in maximizing the potential of future North Korean unmanned underwater vehicles. Surveillance, cruise missile launches, and sowing sea mines are only some of the possible future roles, the latter of which the U.S. is already exploring. If idea plagiarism isn't enough reason to piss the U.S. off regarding unmanned underwater vehicles, the fact that North Korea once captured an American UUV back over 17 years ago must have already achieved that. North Korea, in the spirit of pouring salt in the wound, continues to display the UUV as a trophy to this day. It isn't clear exactly what North Korea gleaned from this system, or if it influenced the design and technology used by Haeil or Haeil 2. But what's pretty clear at this point is responding to North Korea's offensives. Here is that response. The U.S. is not fooling around. She has been the most powerful nation in the world for decades, and she plans to keep it that way. In the air, on the land, in the seas, and under the seas. Therefore, the U.S. military has taken two crucial steps to checkmate North Korea's quest for unmanned vehicle dominance. 1. New submarine-launched aerial drones. The U.S. Navy has deployed new drones launchable from submarines. These drones will be launched from the sub into the air, unfold their wings to stay airborne, and spy out targets to enable torpedo attacks on ships sailing far beyond the horizon. By acting as the sub's eyes and ears, the drone can greatly increase its strike range and keep the submarine well away from any defensive weapons or sensors. This is a much-needed addition to the Navy's submarine fleet because even the most modern American torpedoes, such as the Mk-48 Mod 6 advanced technology, are limited by the range of sensors that assign them their targets. Although the Mk-48, for instance, can reportedly swim 30 miles to its target at Olympic gold speeds, the problem is that it is difficult for the submarine sensors to detect, positively identify, and track a target from so far away while being submerged. If the sub rises to the surface instead to poke out its periscope for better sensor power, the sub could give off its location. And at that point, the sub will have more to worry about than a torpedo that can't identify threats, unless the sub doesn't mind getting blown into history. The point is, the periscope must stay tucked most of the time. Therefore, the submarine senses its environment with the less effective sonar. The new drone provides a solution to this problem. Else what's the point of it, right? Equipped with daylight and night vision cameras, the airborne drone relays back to the submerged vehicle crucial data such as the target's identity, location, speed, and bearing information, all of which are needed to execute a torpedo strike with accuracy. And should the drone be spotted by the target in its brave quest, the location of Mother Submarine remains concealed, and therefore, Mother Submarine is safe. Number 2. New submarine-launched underwater drones. The U.S. Navy is also adding UUVs to its fleet of nuclear-attack submarines. The new UUVs will have the capability to both launch and be recovered via standard 533mm diameter torpedo tubes, allowing all 71 submarines across the entire U.S. Navy fleet to operate them. The drones, equipped with their own sonar systems, will allow submarines another way to search for enemy ships and submarines without revealing themselves. The UUV is a new version of the Navy's Razorback, which is based on the HII Remus 600 UUV developed by Huntington Ingalls Industries, a shipbuilding company that also builds submarines, aircraft carriers, and amphibious warships. So they know their stuff. Unsurprisingly, the Remus 600 UUV is jaw-droppingly good. The vessel can operate on its own for up to 24 hours and dive to depths as far as 1,900 feet. The UUV is equipped with dual-frequency side-scan sonar, which is deployed in arrays along the length of the drone's body, allowing it to scan to port and starboard as it passes through the ocean. These are the American submarine-based UUVs that North Korea is up against. But with the North Korean Haeil and Haeil 2 making waves themselves, literally, this versus of the UUVs is far from over as they battle it out to provide the most effective strategic nuclear warhead delivery option to their respective nations. According to experts, the only way to truly determine which nation will come out on top is by subscribing to this channel and giving this video a like. So do that now, and thanks for watching.